On August 7th, 2017, Blizzard decided to do a live card reveal stream where the game director and a popular streamer would go play the next Hearthstone expansion and reveal the rest of the cards that haven't been shown yet. And it was a big success. The live stream was a great way to show people the newest Hearthstone cards while making the developers feel like actual people. This not only helped humanize the developers, but it made the game feel more enjoyable, and you had more faith in the development team as a whole, because you felt like they were there for you. You felt like they were fans of Hearthstone just like you, and they wanted to make the game better and more enjoyable. And the live stream did this, at first. Something changed with the live card reveals. The sense of being one of us began to lose its shape, and now the live card reveals just seem like another thing that Blizzard has to do for us. They don't seem to enjoy it as much as they used to, and it seems more of a marketing tool, which is what it was always intended for, but it always was so much more than that. So what went wrong? How did the live card reveals become so distorted? Well, we're going to be exploring that and what went wrong with the card reveals. The first ever live card reveal stream happened for the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion with game director Ben Brode and streamer Brian Kibler, two very much loved characters of the Hearthstone community. So I just found out while I was recording that it turns out like the live streams actually started way back in even old God's time. So Brian Kibler wasn't the first person to do a live card stream, but Ben Brode was still a game developer, so it's still what I say, but it still stands. It's just I would like to address it. Yes, Frozen Throne was not the first expansion to do the live card reveal stream. So yeah, I just didn't want to record everything. So, yeah, thanks. We're going to play Hearthstone together and show people new cards for the expansion. It was supposed to be an enjoyable experience that two fellow streamers could just chillax and have a good time playing Hearthstone. And guess what? That's exactly what happened.
You're gonna draw that night, it's gonna burn because you have too many cards.
I can't. Well, actually, I am gonna burn it because of this.
Oh, you're right.
I might burn my Death Knight.
The internet will never forgive you.
Oh my god. It actually happened, and I can't even see the log where it's burned.
The stream was a huge success. The games felt fresh and exciting, the cards were interesting, but most of all, it was authentic. This is the biggest part when doing a live stream. Make it authentic. When you watch the stream with Ben Brode and Kibler, you can definitely tell this wasn't a preset game or anything like that. Sure, they had a schedule to go by, but the stream itself was just two dudes playing Hearthstone. The two guys were laughing, and it was obvious they were having a blast. Kibler was especially having fun with Ben Brode, who is probably the most amazing personality of a game director I've ever seen. But don't worry, we'll talk about him in just a second. You could tell that this was not planned, nothing like that was like scheduled to happen, that it just happened to happen and it kind of went off the rails, and it was a lot of fun to see them do that. And the live stream continued to do so over and over again. The next expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs, had Ben Brode and Day 9 to do a live stream together, and I personally think it went better than the last one. The two were cracking jokes, and the two guys obviously had great chemistry together that made them hilarious to watch on the stream. After Kobolds and Catacombs, we had the Witchwood live stream, which was also just as good. It had Ben Brode and Day 9 again, and these two just picked up right where they left off. And if you haven't by now seen the pattern, there's one thing that all the amazing live streams have in common. One thing that connects them all together, and, well, it's actually a person. Ben Brode. Ben Brode is probably the nicest game developer I have ever seen. He is authentic and genuinely loves the job he does. He's a pro player and was one who definitely not only knew the ins and outs of the game, but also what the community wanted as well. This made him a lovable character in the eyes of the community. His authenticity, his genuine love for the game, and his knowledge on what the community wants made him an invaluable member to the Hearthstone team. Plus, he laughs. Like, a lot.
Together for 2.5 hours.
I'm excited.
I have two primary goals today, and the other is to try to make you laugh as much as humanly possible, which is so easy. Because I informed you what my wish was, and you're laughing right now. Ben drowned on his own spit laughing.
What are you doing to me?
I was really stressed. Was something supposed to happen?
She was AFK.
But you hosted. So. No, I don't have any friends, Ben. No, whenever I load this up, I go, I guess I was going to have fun, right? I realize how much power I have. All right, let's go ahead and squelch him. I don't hear none of that in this game. Are you kidding me, Reels? Who do you think I am?
Sure.
That was vocally amazing to me. That was, you were like the Mariah Carey of indecision right there. I'm going to apostrophes. The more important something is, the more apostrophes it has. Okay. Captrick's coming out. You're wrong. Here's what we're going to do. Yeah.
Now, Ben Brode's personality made him a perfect fit for the livestream reveal. But when he decided to leave Blizzard, that made Witchwood his last expansion to publicly work on. Now I should say that the Hearthstone team is usually around 2 to 3 expansions ahead of us, at least in concept. So he definitely had influence on Boomsday Project, Rastakon's Rumble, and potentially even Rise of Shadows. But he left in the middle of the Witchwood expansion, and that was the last time we had him as our public face as a developer. So after Ben Brode left, you could tell things changed just a little bit. The game itself didn't change much, but there wasn't a real face for Hearthstone anymore. Sure, we had Dave Kozak and Peter Whalen, who do a good job at giving us developer info and stuff like that, but they never really capture the face of Hearthstone like Ben Brode did to me. So after Brode left, we were kind of left leaderless. We weren't sure what was going to happen or who was going to lead us. But we realized that Blizzard didn't know either when the first live stream without Ben Brode started. It started day 9 again, and a new person, Mike Donis. I am not sure if I said that right. I apologize if I said your name wrong, Mike. Now, let's be clear. I have nothing against Mike here. But the live stream with Mike in day 9 is semi-boring / awkward. The reason being is that Mike is kind of boring to watch. He doesn't engage with day 9 on the same level as Brode did, and to be honest, that's fine. Brode was an incredibly rare case with a crazy personality, but it's not just that he's not Brode, it's the fact that he doesn't know how to engage with day 9 the same way that Brode did. Brode would let day 9 do his thing. They could find the balance between humor and talking about the cards. Most of the time they would do both at the same time, but Mike doesn't do that too well. He's so awkward, like he's never streamed before. Whenever Day 9 would make a joke, it would either go over Mike's head, or he would just smile and then talk about the game.
Whose last name does not involve either a hard or soft S. It is completely silent. It is Mike Donet.
Hey Sean, thank you for the introduction.
That was a powerful one. That's maybe one of my top 10 introductions of all time.
He didn't engage with Day 9, and Day 9's personality is so vibrant though, that he carried the stream through. So even though Mike was having a rough go, it was an okay stream because Day 9 was able to push through with his personality and years of streaming experience. Now, it was a little rough, but we made it through okay. Some awkward moments, sure, but we survived. But then, Rosticon's Rumble livestream began with Dean Ayala, sorry if I say your name wrong, and Brian Kibler. So this is kind of important to notice. So Dean Ayala is an awesome game designer, and I think he is an improvement from Mike, but he still doesn't have the complete deal. So unlike Mike, who wasn't good at the humor side of things, but was an okay game design aspect, like he was good at getting the game's functions and mechanics across, Dean here is really good at the game design aspect. He's really good at making it sound easy for the viewer to listen to, because let's be honest, Hearthstone players aren't the brightest people in the world, so we need it to be fed to us in a much slower way than normal. So he's really good at that, and he is a huge improvement in my opinion, but he still lacks that humor that Brode did. So even though he was a large improvement, he still has a hard time getting the authentic side right. He feels like he's advertising for Blizzard, which makes him less relatable. But Brian Kibler, yeah, let's talk about Kibler. He is an interesting guy. I think Brian Kibler is a great Hearthstone player. He knows when to communicate, and he's obviously a very smart guy. But he's not the most entertaining person in my opinion. He works best with someone. Brode was great because Brian's personality bounced off of Brode's really well. But if you don't have someone as engaging as Brode to bounce off of, then it kind of just goes a little flat. So Dean is a little lackluster in comparison. So if you have Brian trying to bounce off the personality of Dean, it isn't going to be as exciting as Day 9. Day 9 was able to push it through with his own personality because it's so dominant. Kibler is a little less. He isn't able to carry himself all the way through like that. This leaves the stream to become the one thing you don't want it to be: boring. When your stream is boring, it makes the cards boring. This is the problem with the stream, and to Blizzard's credit, I think they realized that it wasn't the same. To address this, they decided to bring someone in. Something that I think from now on will always be a curse for the Hearthstone live streams. That is Chris Sierra. Chris's job, regardless of just keeping the stream on track, is to keep things entertaining. But there's one problem with this. The stream shouldn't need a host. So for the Rise of Shadows expansion, Dean was brought back and so was Kibler. But this time Chris was with them. Chris seems like a nice guy, but he screams corporate baloney. Not to insult, but the position he's being put in is pretty crazy. So I have nothing against Chris, he seems like a nice guy, but the fact that he is a host, it just ruins the entire point of the stream in my opinion. So now, instead of a normal stream with just two guys with a tarp behind them, now we have this professional host watching over and butting in whenever he feels like things are getting a little awkward. Plus, they changed the look of the Blizzard announcements to look into this kind of thing. What I mean by this is that Blizzard uses this background format for when they're doing their update, like WoW patches, new Hero of the Storm heroes, stuff like that. So seeing this just makes it seem a lot more like official and less like down to earth kind of thing. Now this is just a small thing that I personally don't like, but I do think it can be a big deal depending who you are, because I think the most important thing with the live stream is that they need to be relatable, and it's really hard to do that with a corporate background behind your back. So ever since Rise of Shadows, this has been the format: a game developer, a streamer, and a host in an official solicited place. Saviors of Old Doom had Peter Whalen, but yeah, he's just like Dean, so there was not much of a change. And since then, it feels like the same thing every time. Sometimes we'll have Crip, who tries his best to just show the cards and to skip the bullshit, but it doesn't always work. And now we're at Ashes of Outland, the latest live stream from the Hearthstone team, and to be honest, it was a little better because they didn't have the official background behind. Instead, they did the live streams from their homes because of everything that's going on. That helped a little bit, but to be honest, if Blizzard really wants to change this, then they need to go back to their roots. Although getting Ben Brode back is not possible anymore, I still think they need a very charismatic person to partner with a streamer who knows the game very well and has a great personality as well. These two should be able to bounce off each other well enough to entertain. And I'm sorry, Chris, but you gotta get rid of the host. The presence of the host ruins the fun and playfulness of the stream. I honestly think that Ben Brode is the reason why I don't like today's current card streams. I'm serious, because Ben Brode set the bar so high, I'm not sure if anyone can ever top it. To me, he was basically perfect for that role, and he made our expectations way higher than they probably ever should have been. So the live card reveal streams aren't bad, but the potential they have is wasted on what they're doing now. So what I'm trying to say is, I miss Ben Brode. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. I hope to see y'all next time in the next video. This video was pretty important to me. I've been wanting to make it for a while, but I never really just got to it. I've been busy lately. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed doing these cover stories. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you enjoy the current live card streams, or if you agree with me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!
Hello and welcome to the Ashes of Outland card reveal live stream, the work from home edition, and also the echo free edition this time around. We're leaving that to good old Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch team. My name is Chris, and I'm a community manager